This is Greg Troutwine with Marine Technology TV, and we're very pleased to be joined today by Michael Johnson, the founder and CEO of Sea Machines, a company that is helping to fast track the age of autonomy in the maritime space. Michael?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Greg. Yes. I'm a native Texan, marine engineer, and an innovator. I spent my early career in shipbuilding, ship repair, and then on to management of major marine projects. I was a vice president at Crowley Maritime prior to this. And a lot of my programs there included some major vessel salvages as well. So I have a strong desire to do things better, more effective and efficiently. And I also have a deep love for the maritime industry, and specifically the machinery and people that make these amazing things happen on water. I want the marine and maritime industries to be the pinnacle of relevance in our global society. And I recognize that in the 21st century, the focus needs to be on new technology advancements. And technology, that's not something new for our space. We always are reinventing the way that we ply the waters, be it from the lumbering packet ships to the sharp, heavily canvassed clippers, and then back to the lumbering, smoking, yet consistent, steamers, and then on and on. And now it's digital sensing, deep processing, and the shift of manual operation to the autonomous.
So taking a step back a bit, when you were earning your marine engineering degree from Texas A&M, in your wildest dreams, did you ever envision that you would create and build a company that would become a leader in the world of maritime autonomy?
Well, I would say, of course not. but I guess that kind of fits the mold of a mariner. We aren't usually the type of people that, make long-term fixed plans. We relish in a world of new experiences, change and adventure. I did know that I needed to be a builder. And, while at Texas A&M, I worked as an intern engineer at the Bechtel yard on Pelican Island, which later became Gulf Copper. And I had the pleasure of later working at that yard as well. But, after graduation, I chose the path of working in yards, shipyards over operations. And at that time, I was building with steel and outfitting vessels with machinery. And now I'm on the supplier side, building the advanced technology.
Michael, can you take us back to when the idea from Sea Machines was hatched? And specifically, what void did you see that needed to be filled?
Yeah, thanks for that. I don't know if you've heard this story, but on my first trip to sea as a cadet, actually within 10 days of stepping on board my first ship, it was the Sealand Atlantic. We were engaged in a major search and rescue operation in the North Atlantic, and it was for the missing bulker, the Marika 7, that had recently left Nova Scotia. And we were sailing within 12 hours of each other in the same winter storm. And, very unfortunately, she broke in half, and all crew were lost. And, we were searching in the waters, in 45-foot seas. And that was when I first learned how dynamic and powerful the seas are. And it gave, immediate respect. But I also learned that mariners, put themselves at risk. And it's the technology from, the naval architecture to the systems, to the operational processes and methodologies that keep them safe and secure. And then fast forward to 2012, when I was at Crowley, also in leadership at Titan Salvage, when I led the team that wrote the winning bid to recover the wreck of the Costa Concordia. And over the course of those 19 years, from that first voyage to the Costa Concordia, I saw that simple and wrong human decisions can have catastrophic consequences. I would see it again and again. And that while humans, are great at some things, I'd say many things, I see humans as not being optimal in some of the other, in other ways. And in our world, the marine world of long duration missions, which are often routine, technology can take more of that and do it better. And I realized that it was time to take a new step in our industry, in our relationship, between humans and technology.
Can you give us a by the numbers look at C machines today using the metrics of your choice?
Yeah, sure. So I'll go through some. So we're in year 7. We have offices and facilities in 4 countries. We're now a team of over 50 personnel with well over 50 autonomy systems that have been booked by companies in 9 different countries. And we are one of only a few companies solely focused on autonomous technology for the commercial market. And I'd say the only company that we know of that has been contracted by large, high horsepower commercial operators without being funded by government-backed innovation grants. And that said, we are also making inroads with government customers. I mean, it turns out that the U.S. Department of Defense and their U.S. taxpaying stakeholders have an appreciation for homegrown technology that has been proven in the commercial world, especially after a series of very expensive, low TRL, high-tech debacles that the Navy has seen. So lastly, we partner with the best of the best. The legacy technology sphere of the marine industries is a realm of giant companies, and with the majority of being like more than 100 years old. And a quick moving venture capital backed company like ours needs to wisely chart a course. And part of that is through the relationships we have in the industry. And you see the partnerships that we've jointly announced, going back to 2018 with AP Moller Maersk, and then last year, major strategic alliance with Huntington Ingalls, Hamilton Jet, and this year with Damen.
To date, and I'm sure there are many, what is the number one achievement of C machines of which you're most proud?
I'd say pride is not something I normally hold or feel. I mean, if I do, it's very fleeting. But as I said, I like to build, but I only want to build if it brings value and big value to others and the industry. I'm pleased that we've pulled together a concept, a company, and a team that's executing on our vision. And this is a vision to retool the industry with technology that reinvents the way that we operate on water. And I'll say I get the greatest joy when we do something completely new that no one has done before. And I'd say secondly, or also, when others outside our company are using the products that we've put forth and are getting the value from them.
So to date, and again, I'm sure there are many here as well, what one project do you see as most important as proving the C Machines value concept?
Well, okay, it's gonna be hard for me to list one, so do your editing if you want to. But we've had successes in multiple projects. From the MARAD-funded autonomous oil spill vessel to autonomous survey projects like with David Evans and others. A highly successful autonomous metal shark vessel that was added to the Coast Guard fleet. Another autonomous safe boat that's added to the Corps of Engineers fleet. And the fact that the U.S. Navy and DIU, has selected us, our small company, as a prime contractor on their autonomous VTOL replenishment vessel program. I like to call them mid-sized aircraft carriers. But it takes time, to prove the viability at the level that we need to achieve. So while many of these are great starts in sectors, I ask you to just keep coming back to me 6 months, 12 months, 18 months to take another measure. But so all that said, I will list 2 that I think best prove the viability. Number one would be those approvals we achieve and receive from class societies and regulators. And we've gained approvals from Bureau Veritas on our products, and now we're going through type approval, ABS and Coast Guard for our products on some classes of vessels. And we look forward to soon announcing approval of our Vision technology. I'd say number 2 is repeat customers and expansion beyond the first sale. So from, as I mentioned, U.S. Navy and DIU that entrusted us as the contractor, With phase one, we quickly executed and delivered. And I should say, with illustrious partners, subcontractors, Foss, Bell, and HII. But then they come back and award follow-on phases to another major US operator that has deployed our technology on large coastal bulk carrying vessels. They tried it on one vessel and then came back for 6 more. So to the industry, I'd say that's proof.
Michael, I'm sure, as you'll attest, every innovator since the beginning of time has their fair share of failures. Can you discuss a failure that you've experienced and what you've learned from it?
Sure. So I'd say probably when our first Dutz-powered test vessel broke down in the middle of the channel here ahead of an oncoming Rheinhauer ATB, and we had to he had to alter course to go around us, and he rightly expressed his disappointment to us over Channel 16 in a deep Louisiana accent. But I would say seriously, though, we have failures every week of all types, and the greatest ones, as you put it, are those that are repeated and where we don't learn from our errors. I'd say it's interesting how those contrast in my mind. I'm cool. I'm great with first-time errors. That shows that we're trying, but I'm not a fun person to be around when we do the same error more than once.
Michael, we talk about autonomy in all of its various forms in our pages online and in print, daily, weekly, monthly. What do you consider today the greatest challenge to hurdle to effectively ensure that our autonomous operations is more in the mainstream maritime industry?
Right. Yeah. So, first of all, autonomous operations will be mainstream. I doubt there are many that question that. The challenge, especially for a startup innovation company like ours, is time. And like all new technological shifts, it takes time to craft the technology in the ideal form and garner enough proof to push the rate of adoption. So, looking back through the history of our industries and others, most major technological shifts at that commercial or industrial grade level take 15 to 25 years from beginning to a over 60% adoption rate. And the challenge for the innovator is being steadfast and, being capitalized well enough to weather that period from concept to commercial tipping point. And it's probably the reason that, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of the legacy technology companies that serve our space are mammoths. And, they have the capital to weather it. So that is a challenge. But I'd say in the 21st century, and especially with digital technologies, the rate of adoption is quickening. So I said 15 to 25 years, it'll come in somewhat quicker than the norm.
Okay. Well, again, Michael, I very much appreciate your time. I just have one more question. Quite simply, what's next for Sea Machines? What are you working on today that's going to help define your tomorrow?
Yeah, well, as always, we have a lot going on. We have some great things in the pipeline. I look forward, as I already teased earlier, I look forward to announcing, later this year, a strategic alliance, which will open the eyes and put, more fuel in our boilers and provide the market with greater access to autonomous technology. But that's to be announced in the future. We'll also be launching and releasing our computer vision as a navigational sensor, which, this will be the first of its kind. With vision technology, your vessel can detect, range, and classify obstacles in a way that no other sensor on the market can. And it was a must for us because, we leverage the conventional sensing technologies today, ARPA radar, of course, the data and electronic charts, AIS, depth sounder, and it's not enough for a system to clearly and confidently perceive the full domain. So vision is that answer. I say lastly, we have a big show this fall. we're undertaking a 1,000 nautical mile circumnavigation of a autonomous circumnavigation of a to be named nation that is dear to us, and all while being commanded from thousands of miles away distant at our Boston facility. Look forward to showing that to you.